Hello everyone, and welcome to my DOOL Today official news channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Salem was abuzz with anticipation when Days of Our Lives was revealed. Alex would receive half of Victor's riches as his never-before-claimed son. We currently don't have much of an option but to accept it as is. Alex is Victor's successor, and based on spoilers, we can be quite confident that by the end of the week, he will be asserting his rightful inheritance. Titan CEO, who's there? However, many fans don't seem to agree with it. While the popular belief among people who don't think Alex is Victor's son is that Xander is, it's possible that this is wishful thinking. Even if Alex's ancestry turns out to be a fraud perpetrated by Theresa, there are other people who could suit the letter that Maggie and Justin discovered. Therefore, the Kyriakis black sheep is not the only candidate. Maggie had heard about the fact that Victor's son was being raised by a different relative, a man Victor adored, who treated the child as his nephew rather than his son. Yes, Alex is there. Xander is undoubtedly present as well. But for Justin Alexander Kyriakis, that might be a perfect fit. Yep. Alexander is his middle name. There doesn't have to be a connection to Alexander, but possibly Justin's mother used to refer to him as Little Alexander when he was a baby because his name was partially derived from his father, Alexander Kyriakis. No date was mentioned in the letter that Maggie read, as far as we know. Any time could be the source, and theoretically, it could come from anyone. Theresa may have thought, "No, thank you," when she saw the name Little Alexander at the end of the letter followed by Justin's mother's signature. If it were the younger Alexander, I could use this to my advantage and control him. Furthermore, that may also account for Victor's consistent treatment of Justin as a son. Not only had his parents passed away, but Victor also wanted to have his firstborn by his side without erasing Justin's remembrance of his deceased parents. Once the trick had persisted for too long, Victor may have decided it was best to just leave things alone. Additionally, a DNA test might not even be able to disprove Theresa's forgery if Alex is Victor's grandchild. They would still have similar DNA markers, and DNA science is not often clear-cut in the real world. That might be sufficient for the residents of Salem to change their minds. However, Theresa could also always obtain the test and alter it. Having said that, Victor's son's identity wasn't revealed until the letter's final page. When she reached the word especially, we'd observed Maggie halt and turn to the final page, which contained just the words Little Alexander. Thank you, Angelica. Theresa could have easily created a brand new document, changing the mother's name as well as the son's to suit her needs. With that said, if Theresa didn't touch the remainder of the letter, the same three people would still qualify as Victor's nephew or secret son: Justin, Xander, and Alex. And Sonny, although there has been no hint that Days of Our Lives may take that turn. However, that would be the biggest twist, and would undoubtedly anger fans by removing Justin and Adrienne's sole biological kid. Any way you cut it, Justin might actually turn out to be Victor's son after all if Theresa tampered with the letter. How do you feel? Would you prefer their relationship to be recognized as that of surrogate father and son? Marlena confronts Talia in her office about having an affair with her son-in-law. Talia cries when she says it. Talia begs Marlena not to tell Belle, promising that it won't happen again. Marlena wishes she could tell her, but doctor-patient confidentiality prohibits her from doing so. Talia apologizes for disappointing Marlena after they decide that Talia has to see a different therapist. She departs sobbing. At the station, Jada gives Sean her word that she won't let on that he had an affair with her sister. From the open doorway, Belle whispers, "You just did." Jada regrets how she learned this information. Belle is relieved it happened because she was very certain Sean wouldn't tell her. Tripp enters Ava and Harris' hotel room after Rafe leaves Jada a voicemail from London. He cared about his mother and wanted to be of assistance. Rafe confesses his confusion over Ava and Harris' whereabouts. He does, however, have something akin to an APB out on them. Rafe receives a call with a potential lead as the men quarrel about Tripp's secrecy and Rafe's motives. Tripp persuades Rafe that he can help despite his orders to return home. Harris awakens in Edmund's closet. When Ava finally awakens, she discovers that Edmund tainted their tea. They find their ankles are tethered to the wall with chains. As Susan enters a door, Harris spots a third chain. "What are you aware of?" "You located me." Ava tells Susan that she wasn't in her right mind when she drove them off the cliff after being relieved that she hadn't been experiencing hallucinations. Susan sneers dismissively. It took them long enough to discover her. She messaged Ava so that everyone else would believe she was communicating with her from the afterlife. She also believed that Ava would be eager to find her in order to clean her name. Harris expects that EJ will now abandon his plan to harm Ava. Susan is moved by what her son done for her. However, in response to Ava's gaze, she vows to slap that boy when she sees him. Harris demands an explanation as Edmund walks in carrying food and water. After the vehicle accident, Edmund says he received a call informing him that Susan was still alive. She was brought there by two men nearly dead. They informed her that Susan was in danger, but he has no idea who they were. Susan continues by saying that when she awoke, she called out to her husband Roger, which infuriated Edmund. Edmund chained her up when she told him she only loved Roger. Edmund determines his plans for Susan need to be more evil after he finds out that Ava is the one who pushed Susan from the cliff. He leaves the room angrily. Sean offers Belle his apologies after Jada departs. She strikes him. Sean begins to feel sorry for himself, even though he knows he earned that. Belle won't listen to it. He calls attention to her previous transgressions, but Belle argues that they weren't technically together for two of those instances. Whatever the case, she believed this to be the one thing he would never do to her. Rafe informs Tripp that the server at the British cave recognized Ava and Harris from their passport photos. They looked up Edmund Crumb on his phone when they were there yesterday. Rafe knows where he lives. Talia is upset when Jada finds her at the hospital. She forewarns her sister that Belle is aware of their relationship. Jada confronting Sean about it is unfathomable to Talia. She stands up for Sean, claiming that he didn't exploit her gullibility. She hopes Jada won't have a different impression of her. She is not judged by Jada. She is always there, and Talia appreciates that. At the station, Sean asserts that Talia was a mistake, and that he loves Belle. He had just fought Belle, and was inebriated. He implores her not to hold Talia accountable. Belle refuses. She focuses solely on Sean. She believes that he did this to avenge her for past transgressions. He initially denies it, but later concedes that what happened was warranted by her past. But if he was able to forgive her, she ought to do the same for him. Belle declines, saying there is nothing he can do to make things better. She bolts outside. Thanks for watching if you like this video. So please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.